What's up everyone, Johnny B here with devslopes.com. Welcome back. In this lesson we're going to add one more cool feature, which is how to know when other people are chatting, right? So I mean that's a pretty useful thing to know. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out here in our main.storyboard. Here in our chat VC we are going to add a label right down here. That's what we've been reserving that space for. Alright, so I'm going to search for a label here and drag it in, and we are going to change its color to a light gray color right here. The font is going to be custom Helvetica New. We're going to drop its size down to about 14. I think that'll look good. Alrighty, so then let's go ahead and constrain it. I'm just going to go 8 from the left with no constraint, with no margins, and then about 4 from the message box here. So we're going to do that and see how that looks. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we can move it up a little bit more. So I'm going to select the label, go to the size inspector, and bottom space to 5, maybe 6. See how that looks. That looks pretty good. Alrighty, and then I'm actually going to just remove the text from it. All right, so we know it's there. Oh wait, first let's go ahead and add our outlet for it. So I'm going to hold Option and click on the Chat VC. Select the label and add our outlet, and this is going to be called Typing Users Label. All right, I'm going to say connect. And so this is the label that is going to say, you know, when your friend Sarah is typing a message, it will show up on your screen saying Sarah is typing. All right. And then if she deletes everything that she was about to say, then it'll just go back to being a blank string. All right. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. So obviously this is going to be handled through sockets, right? Because there's going to be some real-time information that's going back and forth. So if we open up our API code, what you'll see here is this section right here, listens for users typing. And up here, we have ourselves a dictionary called typing users, okay? So here we have two client.ons. One is listening for a start type event, and the other is listening for a stop type event. All right, and it expects as parameters a username and a channel ID. And what it does is, when a user starts to type, this method is called, and a dictionary item is added to typing users, with the key being the user's name and the value being the channel ID. And then when the user stops typing, whether they delete everything or they send the message, then the stop type event is called, at which point that username is removed from the typing users dictionary. And so in both cases, the typing users dictionary is returned back to us, the user. All right. So that's how it kind of works on the API end, and how we're going to do it on our end in the client is we're going to create a new function in our socket service that is going to be listening for that that typing users dictionary coming back to us, and then we're going to take that typing users dictionary and we're going to pass it in a closure back to our chat VC, where we're going to do some logic to decide whether we're going to display who was typing and how the verbiage is, because if you have one person typing, then you would say Joe is typing, but if multiple people are typing, you'll say Joe and Sally are typing, right? All right, so let's get to it. This function itself is pretty simple. We're going to say get typing users, but the tough part is we're going to introduce here a new completion handler. All right, so I'm going to say underscore completion handler, and we're going to say at escaping. So far so good. This is what we've been seeing before, but this time we are going to be passing into the closure a variable called typing users that is of type, it's going to be a dictionary of string and string. Okay, and then we are returning void. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. If we look at our other, I'm going to copy this right here, and let's go look at our constants. Where are you at? Right here. So this is the completion handler that we've been using, right? We're passing into the closure a variable called success, and that is a Boolean, right? So this isn't too different. We're just calling it something different, typing users, and then we're passing in a dictionary. All right, and then let's talk about how, let's say in the chat VC, anywhere, let's see if we can find one that uses the closures. So for success. Okay, so here what we're doing is the completion handler helps us to know whether it was successful because we pass as a variable into the closure something. Here we're doing the same thing. Instead though, we are just passing a dictionary in the closure. All right, so hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say socket.on, and we want the event with the callback. So the event is called user typing, user typing update. And the callback, press enter. And then we have our array. So I'm going to call this data array. And then our socket emitter, ACK. Then let's go to our code here. Press enter to remove it. And in this case, there will only ever be one thing in the data array, and that's our dictionary of typing users. All right, so we don't have to do a whole lot of parsing, so that's kind of nice. So we're just going to say guard let typing users equal data array, and we're just getting the 0th from it. And we're going to say as, and this time it's going to be a dictionary of string and string, else return. Okay, so now we have our dictionary, and this could be any number of people, and each entry in the dictionary is going to be a key value pair where the key is the user's name and the value is the channel ID from which they began typing. All right, so then we're going to pass into our completion handler this dictionary of typing users. All right, so we're calling our completion handler and we're passing into it this dictionary of typing users. Then when we come over into our channel or our chat VC, and right here under get message, we say socket service.instance.get typing users, and we have our completion handler, which instead of like all of the other times that we've been working with our completion handler, we are going to be getting a Boolean. This time we are getting a dictionary of string and string, which we are calling typing users. All right, so now what? Now we have a dictionary of users, and we need to figure out which ones we are going to display and what the verbiage is. All right, so first off, we're going to need to know whether they are in the right channel. All right, so we're going to get ourselves a channel ID. So I'm going to say guard let channel ID equal to message service.instance.channel selected channel.id, else we are going to return. Okay, so if we don't even have a selected channel, we're just going to exit out of this. Then we're going to say var names is equal to an empty string. And this is the variable that's going to hold the names of who is typing. All right, so we're going to start out as an empty string. Then we're going to need to know how many people are typing. So we're going to say number of typers, and we're going to start at 0. Then we are going to need to loop through the dictionary. And to do that, what you do is you say for and then you so you say the key and value. So typing user, and then the value is channel in typing users. So we're looping through each dictionary, and we can then have access to the key and the value right here. So we're going to say, so we want to know, first off, we don't want to display our own name, right? Because when we do the emit, whenever we type, we're also sending to the API an emit saying, hey, someone's typing it. It just so happens to be us. So here we're going to have to do the check to make sure that we're not displaying our own name. So we're first going to say if the typing user is not us, so does not equal user data service dot instance dot name. So if it's not us, and the channel that we're in is the channel that the person typing is in, so channel is equal to channel ID. So if that's the case, then we're going to add the person's name to our name variable here. But we also need to take into account whether how many people have been added. So if it's the first time that someone is being added to it, so we're going to say if names is still an empty string. So if this is either the first person in the dictionary loop, or if there's only one person typing, then we're going to set names equal to the typing user name. Else, so if we've been looping through and we've gone through more than one person, and now someone's name is already in there, what we're going to do is we're going to say names is equal to, and we're going to do some string interpolation. We're going to set it equal to ourselves first, so name is equal to names, and then we're going to add also the new person, the new typing user. All right, and then we are going to say number of typers plus equal 1. All right, now we're going to work on the verbiage and actually displaying the text. All right, so we're going to say if the number of typers is greater than 0 and we are logged in, then we're going to start out with a variable called verb. So var verb is equal to is. So we're going to start assuming that there's only one other person typing. But then we're going to do a check. We're going to say if number of typers is greater than 1, then we're going to need to change the verb to are. There we go. And with that, we can set the label actually. So we're ready to actually say who's typing. So now we're going to say self.typinguserslabel.text is equal to, we're going to do some string interpolation here. I'm going to say names. Then we're going to do our verb. So if there's more than one person typing, then it's going to be is, or are. If there's only one person typing, then it's going to be is. Then we're going to say typing a message. All right. Then we're going to say else self.typinguserslabel.text is equal to an empty string. And the reason we have this here, so the reason we have this check is because when like everyone stops typing, that dictionary is still returned to us, and this function is still called. So if that's 0, if there aren't anybody in it, then we know that everyone has stopped typing, so we need to set our label back to an empty string. All right. So I believe that's all we need to do. I think we got it all covered. Let's go ahead and run through this process one more time. Oh, you know what? We forgot the very important part of actually sending the emits. You're probably wondering how on earth the API knows if someone is typing. Well, that's right down here in our message box editing, right? So here, when we are not typing, all we got to do is say socket service.instance.socket, and we are going to emit an event. All right, and so the event is called start, or this is a stop type actually, stop type. And remember the items that we want to send is first the user's name and then the channel ID. So let's, right here, let's go ahead and get ourselves a channel ID first. So I'm going to say guard let channel ID equal to message service dot instance dot selected channel dot ID else return. Okay, so the for the stop type event, we are passing the user's name, so user data service dot instance dot name, and then the second item to pass is the channel ID that we just figured out. And then when we are typing right here, when we are typing, we're going to say socket service, whoopsie, dot instance dot emit, or socket dot emit, and this is what we want. The event that we want is start type, and the items to send are again user data service dot instance dot name and the channel ID. All right, let's save that. And now I think we are good to go. So let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to run this on our iPhone 7 Plus. Alrighty, so I forgot to change that back to an empty string in the storyboard. We'll fix that. But let's see, are we logged in? Nope, we need to log in. So I'm going to log in here, j@j.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we are logged in. And let's scroll down to the bottom here. And I'm going to open up my Mac chat app. And so watch right here. All right. So I'm logged in as Zeke over on the Mac chat app. So if I start typing, oh, dang, check that out. Zeke is typing a message. Then if we delete it, it's gone. Then I start typing and there it is. Zeke in the house. And then if I send it, it shows up here and it gets cleared out. And then over here in our end of it, if we type, watch over here. So I'm going to start typing something and here we go. Johnny B is typing a message. Super cool. And then if we delete it all, then it goes away. Or if we send the message, then it didn't go. Oh, I know why. So when we send a message, we need to set the stop type. All right. So message box.ending. Here in the send message pressed, we also need to send the emit for the stop type. So I'm going to say socket service.instance.socket.emit. Actually, we can just copy this one up here. So here we go. This is the emit for the stop type. I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. Or here we go, right here. And that should do it. Let's try that one more time. Alrighty, so in the meantime, I actually opened up a couple of simulators so we can test our multiple typing labeler. Oh, I didn't know I could resize this. Oh, check that out. Ah, sweet. I didn't know you could do that. All right, so we have Johnny B on our 7 Plus, Emma on our 6S, and Zeke in the house over on our Mac app. All right, and so let's go ahead and test this out. So over here on Johnny B, I'm going to start typing, and we show up that Johnny B is typing in our Mac app as well as on our other iPhone app. And then if Emma starts typing over here, now we should be able to see Johnny and Emma are typing for Zeke. Emma is typing for Johnny, and Johnny is typing for Emma. Now if Zeke starts typing, then everybody, let's see here. And then if Zeke starts typing, then everybody gets has 2 people. Then if we start deleting from 1, then we only have 1 over here and 1 over here. Then if we delete from here, then Johnny's the only one typing. So yeah, that is super slick. Woo, man, gives me the tingles. All right, some good stuff, guys. Great stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much all we're gonna do in this lesson. Super cool and important feature for chat apps, knowing when other people are chatting. It can be super frustrating if you don't know if someone else is typing something. So the last thing that I want to do is we have that label right here. Let's just delete the text out of it so it doesn't have a default label when we start it up. And that's it. I think our next lesson might be our last feature. It's going to be a cool one as well. We're going to make it so when someone sends a message in a different channel than the one that you're in, that on your app, that little channel will be it will have some sort of indication that someone has left a message in a different channel than the one you're in. All right. So I hope you're excited for that and looking forward to it. And I'm going to finish off here by just adding and committing my changes, and then I'll see you all in the next one.